is up, Truth and Transparency? How we doing? What's today? A Wednesday. It's August 20th, 2025. It's all day today. So welcome. Um, just some house cleaning. We will be covering the Donald Adelson trial. We are waiting for a jury to get picked. So if you guys want to follow along in terms of being a juror and following the case, we will be covering the Donald Adelson case. Let's see. We'll start with that. Take a look here. We're going to start the fourth episode of this series, and we are going to kick it off with the surveillance of Showalter. This is supplemental number 27. So, welcome. You're going to have a point, or you're going to have an opinion. You're going to have an opinion at some point. Make yourself known on this video. Thumbs it up, thumbs it down. Use the comment section of the video. Tell me what you guys think. But here it is. We are working on putting together a sweet timeline. And on December 3rd, 2022, Idaho State Police detectives conducted surveillance. And I was able to go and figure out that this could also be a potential, actually, BMW, a 3 Series. So, now December 3rd, at approximately 11:55 p.m., surveillance units set up around the residence. Idaho State Police detective observed 3 vehicles parked at the residence, and those are the 3 listed vehicles. This silver blank bearing Idaho plates, blank, blank, blank. At approximately 5:43 p.m., what? People suck. Let's take a look back here. Okay. Look at this. At approximately 11:55 p.m., surveillance units set up around the residence. 11:55. Maybe they mean AM there. Okay. Because then at approximately 5:54 p.m., this detective observed an individual believed to be blank leave the residence in the silver blank. Took multiple routes in a random manner. The routes ultimately took surveillance units in multiple circles around the Boise area. At approximately 6:32 p.m., detective observed blank return to his house on blank drive. At approximately 8:11 p.m., detective observes an individual believes to be blank leave the residence. Surveillance units followed blank to a blank gas station located in Boise. Idaho State Police detectives observed what appeared to be blank go into the gas station. At approximately 8:23, this person left the gas station and drove to a residence near blank street in Boise and parked on the street. This person did not get out of the vehicle. At approximately 8:30, this detective observed an individual get into blank's car, I'm guessing, and then they'll leave together. At 8:36, this person and his passenger arrived back at the same gas station on blank. The detective observed blank and the passenger exit the vehicle and go into the gas station. At approximately 8:41 p.m., this person and his passenger left the gas station. At 8:46, surveillance units followed blank to an apartment complex near the intersection of blank and Boise. All occupants of the vehicle got out and went into the complex. What do you mean all occupants? Like, was it just 2 people? Like, you just had 2 people. Interesting. At approximately 9:30, surveillance ended. What? Why? Look at that. Like, okay. Why? Why is it ending? I don't understand. Well, don't worry, they're back at it the next day. That on December 4th, then detectives set back up on for the surveillance, and then at approximately 3:44, this detective observed an individual believed to be blank leave with his mom in the blank. Surveillance units followed them to the blank located at blank. Idaho State Police Detective Hopkins followed blank inside and attempted to positively identify him. Detective Hopkins identified someone who looked like blank, but later was identified to be blank's brother. To be blank's brother. At approximately 4:17 p.m., Blank and his mother arrived back at their house. So it's the wrong brother. At approximately 4:58 p.m., Idaho State Police Trooper observed an individual appearing to resemble Blank leave the residence in the silver Blank. Detectives followed that vehicle to the gas station located at Blank and watched Blank pump gas into the car. Detectives followed Blank towards the Boise St. Luke's, Blank eventually turning up Warm Springs, where detectives eventually lost sight of him. What? Sergeant Hoxie eventually found Blank and observed he had a passenger with him. At approximately 5:28 p.m., Blank arrived at Blank, where Sergeant Cortez observed a male get into the vehicle. At approximately 5:31 p.m., the vehicle left and arrived at the parking lot behind Blank, located at blank, blank, blank in Boise. Sergeant Cortez observed everyone exit the vehicle and they went inside the gas station. What the fuck? All these people do is go to the gas station? How many times can you go to the gas station a day? At approximately 5:44 p.m., everyone got back into the vehicle and left the gas station. Everyone. How many people? At approximately 5:48 p.m., detectives followed Blank to a house located at Blank in Boise, where all occupants went inside. At approximately 7:30 p.m., surveillance ended. What? Like what? What? You guys, what? That's wild. That's wild. Okay. So I believe that to be Showalter, surveillancing of Showalter. Okay. Now, you see this Rich Alderson writing this report here? He was in the Dan Moore Brian Drake case. And this is a tip. So they were doing I gotta use this pad of paper here. Okay, December 3rd and 4th. Surveillance of Showalter. They would have went into his apartment, you guys, at that point. They would have known that there was no there's no fruits, but they want to keep following Showalter to the point that on December 6th, they have a second interview with him. Did I share that with you guys? The second interview with Showalter on December 6th? Okay. I want to use a certain spot. Did you guys see that part? No, it's the. Hold on. Okay. This report, if you can see here, I'm going to back up. We're still report 30. Okay. It is running report. It's a running report. So this was typed up on 12/6, but started on November 25th, and it was to deal with all these tips. Okay, so on November 26th, I was assigned the following incident numbers for Detective Jake 2152. Remember, I was telling you guys that. So this is like a running report, and on the different day, like incident number this on this day, I called to set up and pick up the surveillance video. There was no answer. I left. So this is somebody going through all the things that they were doing, whether it was tips, whether it was picking up like video footage. So incident 2081, it was I called the phone number on the tip. There was no answer, and left a voicemail. This was to confirm whether the caller had been able to upload his video footage using the link that he had provided. On November 28th, around 8:32, I spoke with this person, advised that he was able to upload his link. So I had to go back and remember that back then, the FBI was the one that was asking for, hey, if you have any type of video, you're going to upload it to the FBI link portal. And so we come to find out that how Idaho State Police, Moscow, everybody was telling people like upload it to the FBI portal if you have video footage. And which makes sense if you want to keep everything, organized and together. Incident 2159, I was able to get in contact with this person who is over the security camera system at blank, located at blank in Moscow. Blank advised that he will contact the store and let them know that we would be coming to look at video footage. Detective and I went to blank. We were advised that they were unable to log into their program and to come back on the 28th to get the video footage. On November 28th, Detective and I went to blank. We were met with this blank store manager, and she allowed us to look at the video surveillance. I downloaded 2 small videos of white passenger cars that were driving north. I turned the USB drive over to Detective, and the incident is closed. So now think about this. Ann Taylor's writing stuff up, and she's like, okay, this incident 2159, where would I get this? Who has that? So it was in the possession of this detective. So what you would want to ask is any report that had to do with this person. Ann Taylor would be like, hey, because she's trying to track down chain of custody on when that video would have been turned over. Where is it? So can you imagine going through this and doing this with 67 to 78 businesses? Okay. And now we know that they had 11 residents videos. So this is how you would be going about like tracking down to figure out. Obviously, Ann's wouldn't be redacted, so she knows like what store it would be at. So you'd be making a list of all the places. And remember how Ann was like, she wanted like, basically, Ann's over here, like anybody would be. you would have a Excel spreadsheet for everything that you gathered, wouldn't you? I mean, how are you gathering stuff and going through it if you're truly doing an investigation, right? And trying to like piece stuff together, get the information, see what videos have this white car. You're trying to track down this vehicle, because it's great that you have it around the house, but you would want to track it to see where you can see that it's leaving out of either Moscow or that it's staying in Moscow, right? And so you would think that if it originated over by Indian Hills, okay, that you'd be looking for houses in that area that it could potentially went back to, around 4:30. Okay. So I'm going to bring up now, you guys know Molly. Where's Molly? Well, I want to know how Molly ended up coming into the development from Walenta versus Taylor. How did Molly come from Walenta to get into the King Road area if she was coming from Jack in the Box? Like, you would never come from that way. You would have, unless you had a delivery prior to that took you to a different house in the area. That's the only way that that's possible. If you were truly following your GPS Google. And remember, she said that her GPS Google took her to the side of the house, or like wanted her to go in the back way. I'm telling you right now, Google Jack in the Box to 1122. It would never take you the way that Molly went. Okay. I can't believe that this running report would just be whatever. Like November 26th, here, we're trying to track down some guy with a beard at the grub truck, okay? Because he had a small pocket knife and stupid shit. I want to go to where the phone. Okay. So they received a tip. I was assigned. This tip was in a poem form of and a GPS coordinate. You guys see that right there? How crazy is that? Somebody put in a tip and sent them to some coordinate. And now everybody was going crazy. Remember the Brent Kapaka stuff? Well, guess what? Don't worry, guys. That didn't happen until December. Here we go. We got footage, video footage. So this tip was to obtain video footage. I provided the FBI link so they could upload the video. On November 27th, I was assigned the incident. This is another tip here, number 15. And it was to obtain video footage, but to let the police know that he was on his way to the airport. But he was in 3:55 to 4. Let's see. Okay. All right. Gary Tolson. This is report 31. And wildest shit I've ever seen. On November 28th, this detective was with Gary Tolson, and he asked because he had received a phone call from a person who claimed to be with the FBI. And he was skeptical because the number returned to a Detroit, Michigan area code. He contacted me because he attended the University of Idaho and may have information about the person who were associated with the murders. So on December 2nd, Gary Tolson conducted this recorded interview. When this person was at the University of Idaho and was living in Moscow, she was the blank blank of her sorority. Blank was a classmate with Xana. She was not close to Xana, but knew her primarily through her ex-boyfriend. Last year, while she was dating Blank, she would visit Kuno's old apartment on a weekly basis. She still saw Xana around campus and town, but she did not hang out with her like she previously did. She did not go to the current apartment 1122 King Street because Blank was there on a regular basis. Now, this would be some that so think about this as a girl, but I don't go to the 1122 King Road house because there's going to be somebody there that she added that this person was a member of the Blank fraternity. So we know it's a guy that she didn't want to see. This person described seeing Ethan at the old apartment when she was there last year. She did not believe that Xana and Ethan were official back at that time last year. This person did not know any person Xana was dating last year. She did know one of the Blank friends and fraternity brothers had a crush on her. This individual's name was Blank. She was not aware of anyone stalking or any issues with Xana. She was not close with Ethan. She knew him from last year while she would go visit at the old apartment. She did not know Maddie or Kaylee. She described going to Mogan's house maybe one time last year. Well, if that's the case, then she would have been at the 1122 King Road house. So, but she described going to Mogan's one time last year. She reiterated, though, that she did not go to the new apartment because Blank would go there frequently. So that doesn't make sense because that's where Mogan lived. She knew Blank through her roommate who played Blank with Blank. She saw her at parties but did not have a relationship with her. She described Blank last year, expressed concerns because she had seen Blank at parties. So I'm sorry, but I think this has to do with drugs, number 11. Okay. She did not know Blank personally. She did know her sorority sister Blank. She described Blank and Blank being close friends. She knew Blank from hanging out last year at the old apartment, but did not know much about her. She recalled visiting Xana's old apartment last year because a friend she was close with Blank lived next door. She described Blank and Xana as having a close relationship, that person. She stated she was no longer at the university because she graduated last year. However, Blank could have been sent a text about the night of the homicides. The text was a screenshot describing two of the other roommates locking their doors because they heard someone rummaging around. The text was a screenshot describing two of the other roommates locking their doors because they heard someone rummaging around. Blank detailed the day of November 12th. The University of Idaho football team was having senior night. There was a big game, and many people attended. There were many students pre-gaming before the game. She was not certain, but assumed all the victims attended the game. Wrong. At approximately 10:45 p.m., Blank went to the Blank fraternity party. At approximately 11 to 11:30, she briefly observed Xana and Ethan for about 10 or 15 minutes. So we have eyes. Now, if this person's accurate, there you go. She observed Xana and Ethan on the upper floor of the lodge. She described them on the upper floor looking down, observing the party. She recalled hearing a couple songs play when she lost track of them. Lost track of them? Like, what the fuck? It's weird. Very weird language. After blank this Sigma Chi party, she went to a party she was at the party until approximately 4. Okay. And I believe that this could potentially be over by the whites, but I don't know. She described the as being on the same road as Xana's apartment. When she left the apartment, she was walking and ran into one of her good friends. Remember, I think I was telling you guys about this. When she was walking down from the apartments, Blank was talking to a group of people. She believed Blank stayed at the blank 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 when she left. She had seen what was described as Snapchat videos that this person took at Xana's apartment earlier that evening. She provided Blank's phone number and was going to provide Blank a ride back to Boise when she went home. This person added, Xana was very close to Blank. She believed we should talk to her ex-boyfriend. He frequented Xana's apartment regularly. She did not know if he was at the apartment the night of the homicide. She was not aware of any strange people who may be around campus. Most of the parties are policed by the sober bros. Well, did you follow up with this, Gare? What'd you do, Gare? Oh, yeah, I did tell you guys about this because she was like, oh, I must have been mistaken. Now, they followed up, and this person said to Gary, he was not on King Street Apartments the night of the homicides. And this person then, Gary called back and was like, are you sure? And she's like, she was just mistaken. Blank had been at the blank blank apartment, which was in the same area. How the fuck do you fuck that up, man? Ridiculous, right? Or they're lying. You know? Now, these are the crime scene. And I wanted to come back to this just because I want to. It was more about okay. Okay. We're going to cross-reference something really quick. Here she is. Okay. Now, 12:30 or 12:22 MPD requests ISP. At about 12:34, Gilbertson, okay, advised he's going to be the lead crime scene. Talbert's going to do all like the evidence, and Gilbertson is going to be doing like investigating with Moscow Police Department. But Talbert was going to be doing like all the forensic evidence. So if you go and look back at report number, Moscow Police Department's report number 3, which says okay, he arrives at 2:41. At about 2:41, I arrive on the scene. Already on scene were MPD, Roger Lanier, Dustin, Payne, and multiple other MPD officers. providing scene security, multiple. Okay. So when I go to report 3 with Moscow Police Department, it says the southwest corner patio log entry at 317 Lanier. So Lanier was in at 317. At 2:20, Warner arrived to relieve Officer Smith. At 4:28, Noonan's arrived to relieve Officer Warner. At 5:09, Gunderson entered but then exited really quick at the same time. Then at 5:10, Payne, Smith, Detective Talbot, Prosecutor Ashley Jennings, they all exited out that patio at 5:10. Payne, Smith, Detective Talbot, Ashley Jennings, then they walked back in at 5:11. Perfect. Now, okay. If they were truly going to stay out until they got that search warrant was signed, I can tell you 7 people that were in there before that. He was there from 2:41. Okay. I arrived on scene. And he's making it seem like from 2:41 until 5 that nobody went in there. Because you shouldn't be, because they were waiting for the search warrant. That's when you're supposed to do it. Which Moscow Police Department is stating otherwise. I'm only concerning myself with timestamps here. At 5:24, they started to do the pre-evidence process videos, to start the photographs, scene sketch. 6:30, 3D scans. They only did Keely or Maddie's room and Xana's room with the 3D scene scans. 7:05. So they go around and they take pictures first, remember, without the markers down. And then they go around the next time, and when they put the markers down, that's when they started taking pictures again. So he placed the number cards that you're seeing in the pictures that some of us have out there. None of those pictures could be before 7:05 p.m. And so this is what they labeled with evidence markers. So the outside near the fence line, that was number 1. Latent print, south kitchen. So remember everything to do with the kitchen. The prints looking into the window. This is the slider. So they were doing all of this, they're saying, from 7:05. They start placing this down. Here we go. Look at this. Now, the K-bar sheath, right? I'm going to go back over here. Hold on a second. Near Mogan's left hip. Okay, hang tight. wanted to make sure I went back over this. So Blaker provided him with this section, which is just in the number 2. So it's A and B. This is all Blaker provided him with. From here to here. Okay. So at the time when he gets there at 2:41, Blaker, he's saying that he got this information from Blaker. I'm going to read this. At about noon, MPD was dispatched to an unconscious person inside the residence. When they arrived, 2 house occupants identified as blank and blank, along with 2 other females and 1 male, were outside the residence. So he's trying to say that all that would have been there is Josie, Emily, Hunter. Okay. And then you have Bethany and Dylan. But remember, Jenna was on her way over there too. So I'm curious where and when Jenna got there. The male identified as blank stated when he had entered the house, he grabbed a knife from the kitchen and cleared the first and second floors, and then placed the knife on the table inside the living room. When officers entered the house, they found 2 deceased residents inside bedroom on the second floor. The officers also found 2 deceased residents upstairs. All the victims appear to have multiple. Do you see how so far no mention of a dog? The sliding glass door located in the kitchen was open, and there was a set of prints in the melting snow leading into and away from the residence. There was 1 shoe print near the western edge of the property leading into the west neighbor's yard. There was 5 vehicles. Remember, Grower said there was only 4. And they said that they were 5 vehicles belonging to the deceased residents. It doesn't make any sense, just so we're clear. Ethan owned both of those vehicles. Sometime in the early morning hours, Blank was awoken and opened the door and opened her room door, okay, and said they heard a male say, "It's okay, Kaylee, I'm here for you." So Blaker was the one that interviewed, which is interesting when you look at who he interviewed. Where's that book? Oh boy. Blaker. I thought Blaker did Bethany, but I want to double check. Okay. All right, so Maury did the interview. So on November 13th, I was directed to interview potential witnesses in regards to the incident at 1122 King Road. The following interviews were conducted at the Moscow Police Department. This is Maury saying that he, on 11/13/2022, he interviewed DM, was interviewed in regard to the homicide investigation. So, ready? Maury. Then you have Dustin Blaker, who did okay. Then you have Dustin Blaker. He's the one that did Bethany's interview on 11/16. Okay. So Dustin Blaker to be giving that statement that he heard what he heard there. I'm trying to go back to pulling up Maury's thing again. Hold on. Okay. This is what Dylan said to Maury in her first interview. I want to see if those words are written there. Okay. In quotes. So Blaker says here to Talbot, sometime in the early morning hours, Blank was awoken and opened up her room door. Blank and heard a male say, "It's okay, Kaylee, I'm here for you," and crying. She then shut her door. A short while later, she opened her door again and saw someone approximately 5'10", tall, dressed all in black with a ski mask, standing in the kitchen. She made eye contact with the person and could see they were Caucasian through the cuts from the eyes. She shut her door again and texted this person whose bedroom was on the first floor, told her to join her in the room, and Blank ran down the stairs to Blank's room, Bethany's room, where they fell asleep. Okay? That's what he is reporting that Blaker told them. Between 2:41 and 5. Nothing about a dog. And he says, this is what Maury wrote down, but didn't write up this report until 11:28. So unless Dustin Blaker either witnessed this interview, got this information from Maury, Maury didn't go back to the scene, though, supposedly. Dylan said at this time she jumped up, locked her door because she did not know what else to do. Dylan said that she called out Kaylee's name and did not indicate if she got a response. Dylan said that she then tried to call Kaylee, Xana, and Maddie on their phones. Dylan said that she woke up around 4, where she could hear Kaylee and Murphy, the dog, dancing. Dylan said that she knew it was Kaylee because she recognized her voice and she could hear Murphy barking. Dylan said she heard Kaylee go upstairs and say, "There is someone here." Dylan said she thought she heard Kaylee run back down the stairs. Dylan said Kaylee sounded scared when she made that statement. Dylan never said in her interview, and it was never even like quoted about that, "I'm here for you, Kaylee." That is not in the reports on that day. Nowhere can that be found that Dylan said that on that day. But yet here, he's attributing that to Dylan saying, "It's okay, Kaylee, I'm here for you," and crying. Dylan did not say that on that day. It's maybe why you shouldn't write reports up. Like, I mean, look at this. But so I don't know if this is like hearsay on top of hearsay. I think that this is getting, I don't know where Blaker got that from. Blaker did not interview Dylan. Maury did. And Blaker was in pain. They were interviewing other people, supposedly. So anyways, I just wanted to point that out. Okay. The bag from Jack in the Box. Remember how there's one in the kitchen? The kitchen counters were cluttered with dirty dishes, orange juice containers, and a fast food bag from Jack in the Box labeled Xana near the sink. Well, by the Coors Light box, there's another bag, and everybody thinks that it's Taco Bell, right? That bag could also be a Jack in the Box bag, and I'm going to show you why. Hold on, let me pull this up. I think it's on my community tab when I posted the pictures. Let me just double check if it's there. If it's there, I can just pull that up. Your old Gregory. Did I post this yet? Okay. You think you guys are just going to get it for the first time here today? All right. This will work. Okay. Okay, take a look. I'm going to show you that I think there's a chance that the bag that's by the Coors Lights could have potentially been actually the bag from that night versus, you know, there's no saying that somebody couldn't order Jack in the Box multiple times in a weekend. So hang tight. I'm going to show you guys a video, or not a video, but all right. All right, this is in black and white, but this is purple. It's a brown paper bag, and this is purple. And I'm going to show you guys, if you guys go look back at the Coors Light box with the bag, brown paper bag that's right next to it, it looks like it's a Taco Bell bag, but I think that it is this bag. It's brown and purple. So hang tight. Boom. I believe that this is the bag that's next to the Coors Light. You guys can go check it out. All right. Outside, on the outside of the window on the south wall were two handprints and a possible face print. Face print. There was also a red colored drips on the north side of cabinets near the sink and a red color liquid drop on the floor right by the sink. So That's consistent with where I don't believe that Dylan, I don't believe that anybody walked from Xana's bedroom and walked past Dylan in when she was like standing right in that doorway. In fact, if you read this, when she opens up her door, the person that she sees is in the kitchen. Okay. And what Ann Taylor's argument was, and just like anybody's argument should be, is that Dylan couldn't have been in her room. She would have had to come out of her room to see that angle. Okay. And so I can't understand why you would ever wreck that house. Okay. Because you'd want to really show that angle. Unless you felt that there was really good pictures that did it, or if there was, you know, I think the house is, if you were actually inside of it, you would see that you can hear shit through the walls very easily, and that wouldn't make sense that you wouldn't hear things in the house when this crime was occurring. But if you're in Dylan's room, the angle, you'd have to come out a little bit because it kind of goes a little to the left. So that's why I'm just shocked that the house wouldn't have stayed. Unless you thought that this was never going to trial. How about that, guys? What if Bill Thompson and Ann Taylor were like, we know this is never going to trial? Like, whoa, Lana. That's a little plot. So, whoa. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Now, I would be asking the roommates that the bedroom, you'd want to ask Dylan and Bethany if when they were in Kaylee's room and you guys were all just hanging out, were you guys doing that in Maddie's room or Kaylee's room? And was the bed made? Was the bed unmade? To see if she originally went to sleep in her room. Because Dylan's under the impression that this person came through Kaylee's slider from the top, not from like down on either first levels, okay? First or two, like scaling walls, going into the slider up there. All right. So I would just be curious of, hey, was the bed made? Was it not made? Now everybody wants to talk about see this black colored coat laying on the ground. This is to shut everybody up. If I hear one more motherfucking thing about that motherfucking black jacket, you're gone. Okay? That black jacket is accounted for and it's right here on the floor of Kaylee's bedroom. Woo! All right, we solved it. Did everybody see that? And a black colored coat laying on the ground next to the bed on the left side. Woo! Yay! We can read. Woo! Superman. So if I hear one more thing about this black jacket, right? That black jacket is accounted for. There was no black jacket on the fire hydrant. That was a vest. Vestibula. I love that word, vestibula. It's almost as good as debris. And trust me, I know how to say the word. I choose to say debris for a reason. Now, partially behind the door on the north wall was a wire dog kennel. What do you mean partially behind the door? What? I would want to know more about that because this isn't just a small, kennel. I mean, Murphy's big. There didn't appear to be any blood inside the room. There didn't appear. Get your asses in there. Okay. So there didn't appear to be anything of interest in the bathroom. Okay. Now, they were covered by this beige comforter. Okay. All I have to say is this. I asked Scott. I said, hey, Scott, what do you think about the fact that there is are there any? There's no holes in the blanket, right? But there. I mean, what do you think about that? Well, I know what I think about it. Didn't appear to be any holes in that blanket. Okay, they're also not saying that like this is this guy writing up his report. Whoop, whoop. So they were covered by a beige colored comforter. That seems like it would be after. If I mean, again, I would need to see it, but yeah. Now this right here, I'm sorry. Near Mogan's left hip, okay, was a tan colored leather sheath partially covered by the comforter. On the door edge, I saw multiple. Okay, so, I how did you see that? How did you see that? He's going in order. Just so at about 5:24. So that means he gets in there at 5 o'clock. Okay. 5:20 between 5 o'clock and 5:24. He's seen that. Allegedly, supposedly. Then they take all their pictures, okay? And then at 6:30, they do this 3D scan. And then at 7:05, then after they take all the pictures, now they have to go around and mark with evidence markers what they want, points of interest that they're, want to deal with. And then after they lay down the markers, then you take pictures again. Okay. So there's always going to be pictures with no markers first. It's as is. There's going to be pictures then with markers. And then if you're moving something, you take anytime you're documenting it. Okay. And all of these pictures are metadata. They're timestamped. So, I want to see that picture right there. I want to see this picture of when evidence marker 18 was laid down, taking the tan color comforter located on the bed. I want to see. All right. And then here at about 8:15, that's when they were taking the bodies in twos. Okay. Before moving the bodies, Sergeant Gilbertson and I put paper. That's what you're supposed to do. And there was a reason that they wanted to preserve. So everybody got the bags around the hands, and then Kernoodle got the left foot. Now, I have a question about this. I'm not a vapor, okay? So all the vapor people out there, let's talk about the vapes. Would it matter to you? Would it be significant to you if your pajama pants didn't have pockets, okay? For your Juul vape pen to be in bed with you, right? That's probably not out of the ordinary for a vapor. What is it? I'm literally vaping. So I just have some vape questions. I'm not a vapor. So my question is that Maddie's phone was on the nightstand. Okay. Kaylee's phone is in the bed with the Juul vape. So you have yours everywhere you go. So that's not, you would have it, right? Yes. You sleep with yours? Okay, perfect. I sleep with mine in my hand. Okay. Perfect. Now, yep, vape in bed. Perfect. Mine is usually tucked under my pillow, right? So that's normal. Good. Now, you would say what's not normal though, right? Is that you would never like your phone when it says it's located under the head. It doesn't say under the pillow. Okay, it says under the head. Uh, so now we know that Kaylee had her phone, right? And this person didn't attempt to. He wasn't concerned with the phones. That somebody, if you saw a phone or somebody trying to reach for a phone and try to, like, I don't know. And so that both of these people stopped using their phones at the same exact time, 2:53. Okay. Then, now collected from the north wall above floor 1 and second care, like, so this is on the staircase. The north wall above floor 1 and second staircase. Where would you say that that is? Where would you describe that area? What does chat think? If you took blood swab collected from north wall above floor 1 and second staircase, where would you say? What does chat think? Well, the north wall is the wall that's facing towards Sigma Chi house, right? Towards the front. You know how the stairs to go up to the third level, it goes halfway, yeah, like 6 or 7, that you get to the platform and then it goes back. So is it the staircase landing going up to the third floor? That's what I believe. Would you guys agree? Staircase landing going up to the third floor. So you're at that middle point. Collected from north wall above floor 1 and staircase 2. So does everybody agree that we can say, yeah, that makes sense, that it would be the north wall, which is above floor 1 and staircase and 2 staircase. Like, now the south side of half wall of floor 2 is, this to me is going to be thank you there, Jennifer. Appreciate that. South side of hallway of floor 2. Would you say that's the only thing I think that's a hallway in that house would be going from the living room to Xana's room? Thoughts? Does everybody agree with that? Okay. Now they collected from wall above the floor, 1, and 2 staircase on west wall. Oopsies. That's got to be in the landing. And that's got to be on the wall that's closest to Dylan's room. From north wall of hallway near west bedroom entrance. Okay. From floor 2, west bedroom light switch. Ooh, okay. This is what I've been asking for. West bedroom light switch. Boom. I wanted to know if somebody turned off, turned on. From south wall above bed of floor 2, west bedroom. From west wall between bed and nightstand of floor. They just took 1 there. From nightstand near west wall, floor 2 bedroom. Further from floor. Collected from west wall near mirror of 2. See that mirror I was telling you guys about? Collected from west wall mirror. Did they not do anything with that? I cannot believe that they didn't. They had to have. Collected from left leg of the desk along the north wall of floor 2. Why wouldn't she mess with the Coors Light? I would be fucking with that. Collected from the exterior of the door of floor 2. The exterior. Collected from floor near the opened door of the floor, which is going to be like those gravity droppings. Okay. From folding table. Okay, now boom. Ready? This is kind of like blew me away. You guys, holy crap, right? Those pictures, I would love to see those pictures. Because they look nothing like the pictures that were taken from what's his name? Schneider. That's the beer pong table. I didn't see any blood on there. You know? From folding table and living room. From kitchen floor. See? So there is blood droppings on that floor near north side cabinets. Now here, this is the banister that I think has gotten confused, but collected from the banister of floor 2, okay, and 3rd stairwell. So that's not from the 1st to the 2nd floor. So I don't know if this just somehow got mistaken when it was being talked about in court. This would be not the 1st floor. Collected from exterior of the door of floor 3 east bedroom. From north wall above bed of floor 3. From east wall between bed and nightstand of floor 3. From south wall. Okay, from near the foot of the bed. From your edge of door of floor 3. Yep, I know what that is. Collected from the, okay. Now, disposable camera collected from the end table in the living room. That's got to be recent. That's got to be super recent. Did anybody get this? Like, did they just do anything with that? Like, I'm sorry, but the last time that I saw a disposable camera, you guys, it's been a minute. It's been a minute, y'all. A minute. Exhibit 51, blue colored laptop located on floor near desk of floor 2, east bedroom. Pink colored laptop located in rolling stand along west wall of floor 3, west bedroom. Silver colored laptop located on upper shelf in closet of floor 3, west bedroom. Okay, the west bedroom would be, that's Kaylee's. Right? Yeah. Is that Dylan's? Pink color laptop, silver color laptop, blue colored latex. Okay, look at this, guys. Isn't this wild? Blue colored latex. What? Now, all you need to go and remember that girl that was taking the video in the bathroom of herself when she was at the house for a little bit. She had it one way and then she flipped it. I'm curious if it caught the garbage, but if that video at all can show, because it was able to catch, I guess, clothes that were there on the floor, or I would love to know if that girl's video possibly caught the garbage can by any chance, to see if the blue colored latex gloves were located in the trash can, if you could see that. For dyeing hair, absolutely. That's 100% what you could use it for. I would expect to see a box of the dye with it. Howdy, Rex. But if that video shows the bathroom, they used, it'd be interesting. But totally for hair dye, but you would definitely want to see some, what do you call it? A box of dye, I think you would have some questions about it. That's all. Now, a gray colored laptop located on the desk of floor 1, west bedroom. That's going to be Bethany's. Bethany's room is the west one. Black colored iPad located on a rolling stand of floor 1, east bedroom. Now, this is the unoccupied room. Okay, now at about 11:44, so this took them to do what they were doing here, these swabs, and a lot of shit, right? So as he's doing this, as they begin this at 7:05, okay? This is how I helped with the Joe Cannon case. I figured out there was a huge gap in time. Note that at 8:15, while they're doing this, they arrived on scene to remove the bodies. Before removing the bodies, Sergeant Gilbertson and I put. Now, normally what they do is you take pictures of because you'd want to look at the lividity. You would take pictures when lifting the bodies, moving the bodies. You would take pictures. So wonder if that happened. But so from 7:40 or 7:05 to 11:44. Let's see. Right here at about 11:44, I directed Detective Roberts to complete post-search photographs and videos. Oh, that's good. Let's take a look right here. So how many did he say that he did before that? Pink colored laptop. Let me see. Pink colored iPhone located in the bedroom, west bedroom. Wait a second. Hold on. Black colored iPhone located on nightstand of floor 3. Woo. Wait, you know what? Hold on a second. The table had multiple solo cups on it, and along with this. Okay, he does not say anything about seeing blood there. Look at that. Look at this. Yeah, that stuff was there afterwards. Somebody fucking did something. There was a folding table set up on the west side of the area, partially blocking the entry to the west hallway. The table had multiple red solo cups on it, along with a small steak knife. There were multiple areas of red liquid on the table that appeared to be blood. Perfect. Now, how did he know that it was Kaylee's phone? Did he say Kaylee's phone or just say a phone underneath Kaylee? Mm. That doesn't make sense. Right here. Okay, boom. All right. So we don't know if that's actually. Hey, did you guys check the video from the grub truck? What color case did Kaylee's phone have at the grub truck? Because remember, how Kaylee's phone was calling, and then Maddie's phone started doing it. And Jack D was like, well, Maddie would never do that. Like, and then I was like, well, I wonder if Kaylee's phone died. And then she just grabbed Maddie's phone and was using Maddie's phone. And then remember, Maddie's phone called Bethany at 2:53. So I'm just curious if maybe, can we look and see if it was actually Kaylee's phone that was the blue one? Because maybe Kaylee's phone was being charged on the nightstand and she was using Maddie's phone. So if anybody can look and see if you can see what color Kaylee's phone was at the grub truck, or if the video is not good enough. How about when Dylan and Kaylee are taking selfies? So if anybody can find out, because the blue phone case, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's Kaylee's phone. Anyways, Kaylee had the blue case. Perfect. We'll figure it out. We will get to the bottom of that, but you just can't assume that it would be her phone. All right. So they did all of this, and they finish up at 11:44, or rather about 12:10. And so everybody that's out there saying, oh my God, look at this stuff wasn't blah, blah, blah. Dude, on November 14th, Payne does not get the items until after technically the 13th, going into the 14th. So it was turned over to him at 12:10, which becomes November 14th. So when everything's being typed in and stored, it's technically on the 14th. Okay, so it doesn't mean like, oh my God, look at, they found the shit on the 14th. No, that's not accurate. The windows and doors were sealed at about 12:18. ISP personnel left the scene. Okay, MPD remained on the scene outside the residence. I entered the scene photographs, videos located at the ISP District 2 office and provided copies to Moscow Police Department. Now, they went back the next day. On November 14th, they had to return to the scene for further processing. And all items collected were turned over to MPD. This all happened and began at 11:24 a.m. on the 14th. They returned. Okay, at 11:25, I assigned Jake to start pre-evidence process. So they went ahead and they took video of them getting in there. It's really important. Good job. That way you can show that everything was the same way that they left it. At about 11:28, these detectives and I started making the evidence with the numbered place cards, photographed the exhibits. The following evidence was recorded and or collected. And so they added the following. So that'd be 4. So they took the rolled $2 bill. They took blue colored powder, that's Adderall, blood swab collected from west wall of living room. Blood collected from upper west wall of floor 3, west bedroom. West bedroom, hold on. That's Kaylee's room. What? Interesting. So that Kaylee's room would be the west bedroom. I know that for a fact because all right here, y'all. Let's see, bedroom 3. Let me just make sure, unless I'm losing my mind. Yeah, because yeah, east bedroom is where they're located. See? So they took blood from Kaylee's room. This was collected from upper west wall of floor 3 west bedroom. Unless that's a typo. Floor 3. They just wrote and said that the girls were on floor 3 east bedroom. So when they go back to the second day, they go to the third floor and it's in the west bedroom. They have to be. But hey, this is why you get paid the big bucks, because you're not supposed to make mistakes like this. Again, I can prove that it's that room because look at collected from upper west wall of floor 3. Floor 3 is either you have two choices here. You have Maddie's room or you have Kaylee's room. Well, floor 3, so east bedroom. That's what the girls were in the east bedroom. That means when you're talking about floor 3, the west bedroom, that would be Kaylee's room. And it says specifically, bedroom. It does not say bathroom. I mean, I laugh when people can't read. Does everybody see that? Collected from upper west wall of floor 3, west bedroom. That is 100% Kaylee's bedroom. Or he's going to have to get in there, tell whoever wrote this up and say, that is a typo. I meant to put east. Okay. But we will make a note of the typo, possible typo. At about 2:12, the windows and doors were open during processing. They were sealed. They were resealed. I finished the videos. At 2:18, the front door was resealed. IS personnel left the scene. MPD remained. Okay, I transported the items. So yep. Gave them straight to him. Okay. All right. We want to know if exhibit 60 was tested at the lab. Oopsies. Okay. 11/17, 11/18, they go back. So remember how on day 1 they said they processed 56 pieces? Then the next day 57, 58, 59, 60. Okay. Because we're going to get to 113. We'll see. So on November 17th and 18th. I can't believe they would do a report like this. Like, I just think that this deserves 2 different ones, but I wouldn't do it like this. This is lazy. All right. So on November 17th and 18th, get the fuck out of here. All right, I have all of these broads' CVs, and one day I'm going to spill the tea on some of this. All right, it's coming. Don't worry. Because let me put it to you this way. You know how like life evolves, and just like back in the day, people used to buy athletes to fix football games. You know, here I'm going to pay that athlete like $500,000 to throw that game, and I'm going to go bet $1 million, and I'm going to win. Well, people just started realizing, well, if you really want to win, and you need to make sure that you win, you need to buy the referee. Okay, you need to go buy the ref. And then you're like, oh wait, as technology is becoming more and more prevalent, then they were like, oh, we're using instant replay, and well, you better go buy somebody in the booth then, you know. So here, the way that the world would work in my mind is there's no longer, you can't go buy a detective or pay off. You need to have people in the lab. You didn't have people in the lab, you know. So anyways. So here they sent out the ISP peeps here. Ayers, Hogan, Martinez, Wyatt. And so on November 17th and 18th, the Idaho State Police Forensic, this is what was seized. Refer to the forensic report. Yeah, this is why she wanted those lab reports. Okay. Is that right? Yes, it is. Because it's like, wait a second. This isn't, like, you need to know what you did when, what, like, this is horrible. So, okay, 61 potential hair collected from the north wall of floor 2 hallway. North wall of floor 2 in the hallway. Well, which hallway? I mean, is that going to be over by Xana's bedroom? Again, same thing. This is the north wall, south wall. Yeah. Cigarette butt collected from the yard south side of house behind sofa. Cigarette butts, baby. That's gotta be old as fuck, but whatever. Note collected from parking lot on north side of house east of the Ford SUV. I saw that pic. I saw them doing that. Potential hair collected from south side of wall. What? What? I think they were supposed to say wall. Okay, floor 2, south side of the half wall. That's going to be by. That's right where the little, like, the doorway entry to go, like, right by where Dylan's room is, or go upstairs, or go to the kitchen. Potential hair collected from floor 2, west bedroom. That would be Xana's room. DNA swab collected from exterior of south kitchen window. Ooh. That's the first one. DNA swab. They were really trying to go. They were going after that face print. Someone was licking that window. Licky, licky, licky. That's what was happening over there. You guys want this copy of this 566 pages? You let me know. Licky, licky over here. That's what they were trying to do. They were swabbing it to see if somebody was breathing and licking and on that. You guys know. You guys ever seen Adventures in Babysitting? Come on now. Okay, they collected the router and the modem, but that was done by Maori. Exhibit 71, blood swab. 21 blood swabs. And then they're not going to, like, you need to go get to that report if you want to find out about that. 21. Refer to forensic report for locations. Interesting. 6 latent lift cards collected from exterior of south kitchen wall. Like they were going ham on that, as they should. After the process, the residents, all items were collected, were turned over to me. They resealed the window and doors that were opened. Okay, great. Oh, right here. And placed them into a secure temporary evidence locker. That's important. Why? Law enforcement remained on the scene outside the residence. Okay, now on November 19th, they provided me with a copy of the photographs and wait. They provided me with a copy. Okay. And then this person transported them. Okay. To the MPD. And turn them over. Now, there's a question there, though. Why on November 19th, they provided me with a copy? How long were you there? When did you leave? So on November 17th and 18th, look at this. Look at this shit. Yeah, we're going to need when you got there, when you left on the 17th, and when you went back on the 18th. This is a horrible report. This is absolute fucking... This is fucking pure trash. This is fucking horrible. Period. Exclamation point. Fucking fail. They would fail the test. They would fail the class. 11/19. Okay. On November 19th and 20th. Oh, imagine that. Why are we doing these reports like this? On November 19th at about 2:03 there you go. Good job with that. I returned. Okay. At about 5:24 p.m. I resealed, so he was there for 3.5 hours. On November 20th. At about 8:16 a.m. I returned. At about 8:58 they arrived. So he was there by himself for 45 minutes. I marked the evidence with numbered place cards. Let's see, 1 second. Did he go there with anybody? IS personnel returned. Okay, I marked the evidence with numbered place cards. Well, okay. There we go. When did he get there, though? Powell got there 45 minutes after Talbot. 45 minutes later, so okay. Exhibit 75, power cord. Okay, now they wanted to get into these cell phones and these devices. So on November 20th, this didn't happen yet. Holy shit. Okay, so they did not. All right, so the first power cord you wanted was the first floor west bedroom, which is the spare bedroom. That was where the iPad was located. Power cord, upper shelf, closet, floor 3, west bedroom. That's Kaylee's. Oopsies. Okay, black colored iPhone located in a drawer in a closet of floor 3. SD card located inside a GoPro in a drawer in closet of floor 3. Kaylee's bedroom. Handwritten note located inside clear plastic tote of upper shelf and closet of floor 2, east bedroom. That's Dylan. Diary, baby. Located on desk of floor 2, east bedroom. Dylan. iPhone located in glove box of the blue Honda. Instead of how they left the scene. Three hours to do that. At about 12:05. Sounds good. I Wait, so what did she do on November 19th then? November 19th. No notes, no nothing. Look at this. November 19th. Just went up in that bitch by myself. Look at 203. Jesus. That's better if we put it right here. It's more prominent. There you go. No notes or details from the 19th of when this fuck was snooping around. Hire me to dig out your discovery. What did they do on this date? Crime scene, 11/23. Eyes, heads of Jeffrey Talbot assigned. Yep, on November 20th. Yep, went back there. So this is the day before Chris McDonough finds the magic glove. Perfect. And November 20th, you get there at 6. Man, I get waking up early. I marked the evidence with numbered place cards. Okay. Vans portable speaker. I didn't even know they'd make those. Wall along the north wall, floor 2, west bedroom. That's Xana's bedroom. Blue colored UE portable speaker. They're trying to see if any of that stuff has, like, I know what they're doing with that. Okay, where was that one located? In the kitchen? The JBL portable speaker was located on the top shelf of rolling rack along west wall of floor 3, west bedroom. That was Keely's. Located on stool of kitchen. Abby Xana's. Okay. At about 7th, what time? 7:30, so if you're about in there for an hour. Okay. Good job. So we're up to 84 pieces. Okay, what else we got? Oh, and this is the second interview of Jack, I think, Showalter. Yep. Now, did I go over that one with you guys? I think I already did. Yes, they want to see what paired with devices. Sure thing. I think I already went through that. I think we'll stop there. Oh boy. We'll leave with a bombshell here. So Kaylee, during the summer of 2022, was babysitting for the coaches of the football team in 2022. According to a recent interview, Kaylee was babysitting for the Vandal football team coaching staff. So we'll leave with that. Is that right? Well, I went ahead and looked up all of the coaches from the coaching staff in 2022 just to, you would think that maybe you would interview one of those people. So we'll see if we come across that. I still can't believe that Steve G was in Moscow on the 12th. Where is that at? Young Black, what's up, baby? How you doing, love? Good to see you. I didn't come across that. But I did come across. Go Vandals. I love seeing Murky's name in chat. Lana and her boobs, is that right? What's up, Christy? Come on, you gotta come on, girl. Actually, I'm gonna go through the whole 1 hour the video. We have the whole 1 hour not sped up or anything like that from like the actual 1112 camera footage. He had it was, they got 3:30 to 4:29 in like 29 seconds. So what else did I find? There was something that was interesting about that. Yeah. Okay. I read that he went with Kaylee to sell the Subaru. The guy who bought it said that her father was with her. Yeah, it wasn't in Moscow. God. Who are you getting your information from? That's not true. That's not accurate. They were in Hayden. Hayden is located, that's Coeur d'Alene. That's where Jennifer Drake lives. Hayden. There's a Walmart there. Steve met his daughter on the Friday. On the Friday that she sold her car, her Subaru, he met her, which any good dad would do. You're meeting somebody on Facebook Marketplace, okay? And so he meets her, and the guy takes the car for a test drive. The guy hands her $6,500 in cash. She takes that $6,500 in cash and goes and puts it on the car same day and gets the Range Rover. But Hayden is in Coeur d'Alene. That is not in Moscow. That is 1.5 hours away. That's where Kaylee's from. Kaylee's from Coeur d'Alene. Coeur d'Alene and Hayden are like right next to each other. So fact. Steve, Kaylee did not sell her car in Moscow. She sold her car to a man that met at the Hayden parking lot, which is in Coeur d'Alene. That's where it's at. Okay, settle down. In the report, Steve was in Moscow. In the report, okay, settle down. I read the report. I promise you I read the same report. He wasn't in Moscow. But yeah, Hayden. So just want to make sure that that's straight. If I just repeat it on my channel like that, that's why I just have to say it. Because if I see something and highlight it, then I have to, people that aren't looking at and they're just listening, they're going to be like, oh my God, Lana said Steve was in Moscow. So, and her grandma gave $1,000 with it. So Kaylee took the 6,500, put it down, and then we'll get into all of that. I'll show the report. So yeah, everything's all good there. But they were I'm going to go back to this. Where is the next crime scene? Because I'm going to go back and look because we're only up to '84. By November 26th, wait, 25th was the 24th, 25th. And November 25th, 2022. It is 103. Oh, you know why? Hold on. Because if you add in, are they going to treat the swabs separately? So let's see if you add 20. Yep. We actually had 104, not 103 when I said it. Because then it jumps to 113. Okay, those are my notes. That's just my personal note. Okay. All right, guys, we'll be back. Morning, everyone. Yeah, I want to have a panel. I'll be back here. I'm talking about, and I'm doing it like right after this live. So yeah, I gotta go. Join me back. It's a different case. Dude, shit is popping off in Kentucky. We talked about it a year ago. Those motherfuckers are sick ass motherfuckers. Holy shit. Like, if somehow this gets swept under the rug, shame on Kentucky. Shame on everything. It's fully exposed. They were running a freaking whore town, man. There was a great interview. Kudos to Brian Etten. Kudos to the woman that he did it with. I know myself and Bella will be in Letcher County here shortly. I have some really, really wild stuff. The plan was to start covering Letcher County after this trial with that, because I was trying to keep everything separated with going into this trial. Obviously, there is no trial, so we can switch gears a little bit with that. But wow, is all I have to say. I had a couple of interviews that I did back when that story broke. And I'm still in contact with these people. They're really good people, and they just want a better environment for their kids. Like, it's just been a never ending cycle. So we're going to talk all about it. Letcher County, full exposure. You want to go to Letcher County? I don't know if you want to do that, man. Full brothel, right? It is insane. But everybody knew about it. Everybody knew. Everybody was having sex with everybody. Everybody's swingers in the town. Dude, there is dudes that were sucking dick to get out of their jail time. Sucking dick for their kids to get out of jail time. Letting their dick get sucked by men. I mean, I'm just saying it was full blown. Everything goes. And so I want to get down in that action. But I love it. I love it when people hate on the gays, but you getting your dick sucked by a dude type of shit. Fuck you. Don't be hating on gays when you're getting your dick wet by a guy. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Just be proud. Live it up, man. Go get yourself some. Letcher County. Everybody was winning in Letcher County. But see, that's the thing, is they were blackmailing. And it was just like everybody knew, but nobody just talked about it. That lady first interview with Elizabeth Hilbert. I know, right? Is that right, bag of dicks? Nothing like a bag of dicks. One of my favorite subscriber names right there. Female guards were involved. Everybody's involved. Everybody loves it. They're all talking about P. Diddy. Talking about P. Kentucky. Taking inmates home overnight, etc. Insanity. I know, it's full exposure. And so we got to talk about it. All right, we're going to talk about it. Which case is this? Oh, it's the sheriff shooting the judge. Yeah. They were just running dude, pulling people over, giving them tickets, taking their kids away. You want to get your kids back? Yeah, come see me a couple times. Come see me a couple times. What? Come see me a couple times. No, motherfucker, I'm just going to write a badass, but think about it. You just, oh God, yeah, okay. Hey, sure. 10 minutes. Yeah, my kids, versus, oh God. Don't even get me started on that shit. You said I want in on that shit. You want, yes, in on it. We're going to talk about it. You think I want to do that? No, I'll just go to the strip club. Come see me a couple times. It'll be good. If you want a mod for me, come see me a couple times. We'll think about getting you blue. Right? Outrageous. I can't believe the blackmail was the straw that broke the camel's back. I can't believe that these people are showing up on Sundays to church, all holier than thou. Yep, because you rolling around in the blood of Christ. You rolling around with the blood of Christ. Yeah. Amen. Coming into my church, acting all fucking godly. Sick son of a bitches. See, that's me. I'd be like, I'd be calling these people out, and I'm going to call them out. You want to come talk about it on my channel? These women, whoever that woman is, God bless her. I want to buy her. I mean, unless she's in AA, I want to buy her some drinks. She just totally did this interview. 750,000 people have seen it. Get that girl protection. Stop hiding behind my God. Some of these people are pastors, guys. You want to talk about that? I got a whole bunch of tea on that guy. So, it's whistleblow. It's like, you guys thought that the Penn State scandal with Jerry Sandusky, that ain't nothing. What the hell this is about to be. I wonder if he's got really good lawyers, man. Do we think that he snapped? I think he snapped. I wouldn't give him more than 6 or 7 years. Should I probably vote not guilty on this if I was in the jury deliberating room, if I thought somebody was doing crazy shit to my kid, you know? People were planning on putting their whole little ring of shit on me. It's gonna be interesting. House arrest. More like house party. Yeah. All the swingers in Letcher County coming onto the Chambers. Let's go. I'm gonna open up another bar and call it the Chambers. They could, yeah. Time served. Sheriff was truthful. I could see. Yeah, it's just sad. I mean, think about it. You guys, this has been going on for years, like years. Like once your last name in a town is just like you a hoe, your parents were hoes, you get labeled a hoe. Trailer park trash. Yep, that girl. You know, like how do you get out of that? You don't. It's systematic, and that's what she was talking about. And I'm going to talk about it later, but go get your guys some lunch. It's so sad. It's a bunch of bullshit. And literally the sheriff probably saved a ton of people. He probably saved a ton of people's lives. And yeah. I don't know. I need to hear the whole story. And that's why I think his lawyers are going to tell it all, baby. I wonder if they're going to offer him a plea deal to not have this go to trial. Because it's all coming out. All right, see you guys on the flip side. Actually, I don't think that's what's gonna come out. I think he wasn't fine with things. I think that Stein's name was the only name that was mentioned out of all these people. And so it was like, are you guys going to try to put this all on me? Okay. Because think about it. If everybody's going to tell the same story and blame it on the person that isn't involved in it, or hey, just keep your mouth shut. It's going to go away. Keep your mouth shut. It's going to go away. Blah, blah, blah. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you, when you got a ton of people ganging up on you with power and about to blame you for something, or you keep your mouth shut and then, hey, we'll pay you on the back end. No, you're going to write my name. Wait, what? I think there's way more to it than the talking to some daughter. So we'll see though. Peace out.